Let us look at your answers. All right. It's still the same question. Determine the quartiles, Q1, Q2, which is also the median, remember, and Q3, and the interquartile range for each of the following sets of data. Let's start with set 1. Okay. For set 1, grade 12s, look at that set of data. If you look at that set of data for set 1, you can see that that data is not arranged. And again, you cannot determine Q1 before you determine Q2 or the median. So you must first determine the median or Q2 before you can determine Q1. Remember, in a shop, when they divide a loaf of bread, they first divide the loaf into 2 halves. And then the first half, they also divide into 2. And then the second half, they also divide into 2. So even here in mathematical literacy, before we can calculate or determine Q1, we first have to determine Q2 or the median. Remember, I said, when you determine the median, you first have to arrange your data, either from the smallest to the highest or the other way around. In this particular instance, let's first arrange our data from the smallest to the highest. The smallest value in that data set will be 50, followed by 55, 59, 60, 72, 75, another 75, 78, 87, 99, and then lastly 111. Let's count how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember again, grade 12s. I said after you arrange your data, you must also determine whether your data is odd or even before you calculate the median, so that you can know whether to expect the one value in the middle or 2. And in this case, you counted that we have 11 values. That means we are going to have only one number in the middle. Okay? Let's first now find the median or Q2. Counting from left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And now counting from right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So we have one number in the middle, which is 75. That means 75 is our Q2, or it is our median. Okay? I hope you followed. Right. Now that we have divided our data into 2 equal groups, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our data is arranged into 2 equal groups. Then we can look at this first group. That's where we will find Q1. Let's find Q1. Remember, we have how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 is an odd number. That means in the middle of this first group of data, you will also have one number in the middle. So it will be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. That means 59 in this case is our Q1. Now, for determining Q3, let's move to the second half of our data. In that second half of our data, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. Because 5 is an odd number, it means we are going to have one number in the middle. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. That means 87 is our Q3. 59 is our Q1. 75 is our median or Q2. And then 87 is our Q3. I hope you also have those answers, grade 12s. Yes, you got them right if you have 59, 75, and 87. Remember, apart from determining Q1, Q2, and Q3, we also had to calculate the interquartile range, still for set 1. Remember I said interquartile range, which is IQR, is equals to Q3 minus Q1. Now that we have determined Q3, we simply substitute Q3 by 87. Somebody said 87. And then minus, we substitute our Q1 by, that's correct, 59. And then 87 minus 59 will give us an answer of 28. If you want to check that on the calculator, we can quickly do that. Grade 12s. Okay, let's switch it on. 87 minus 59 will give us an answer of 28. Meaning our interquartile range is 28 for set 1. I'm sure you got all of them right. Now let's look at set 2. Okay, if you look at the data on set 2, grade 12s, you'll also realize that our data is also not arranged. And remember again, I'll remind you and keep on reminding you, we have to first determine the median or Q2 before you can find Q1 and Q3. And again, remember, I said before you can determine the median, you first have to arrange your data. Now, let's arrange this data quickly. The first value there, which is the lowest value for set 2, is 12. And then 15, 27, 30, 75, another 75, and then 78, 111, 142, 147, and the last value 183. Now that we have arranged our data, then we can find the median. But remember again, I said before you can find the median, you first have to check whether your data is odd or median. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 11 is an odd number. That means we are only going to have one value in the middle. Let's check our median then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth value is 75. Counting from right again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth value again counting from right is also 75. That means in this case 75 again is our Q2 or the median. Okay. Now that we have divided our data into two equal groups, we can find now Q1. Remember, Q1 we look for it from the first group. Let's check again. How many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is odd. It means again we are going to have only one value in the middle. Okay? 1, 2, 3. The third value is 27. And then 1, 2, 3. The third value again is 27. Meaning 27 is our Q1. I'm sure you got that right, grade 12s. Now let's look at the second part of our data, the second half. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. It means yet again when we determine Q3, we are only going to have one number in the middle. It's 1, 2, 3. The third value is there. And then again 1, 2, 3. The third value again is 42. Meaning that 42 is our Q3. Okay? 27, it's Q1. 75 is Q2 or the median. And 42 is Q3. Okay, grade 12s. I hope you also again found Q1 as 27, Q2 as 75, and Q3 as 142. Remember, they said for this set again, we must calculate the interquartile range, which is our IQR. Remember, we said IQR is equals to Q3, which is the upper quartile, minus Q1, which is the lower quartile. Now that you have determined Q3, we substitute it by 142 because we said Q3 is 142 minus the Q1, we said Q1 is 27. Now 142 minus 27 will give us an answer of 115. Let's again check that answer, grade 12s. Okay. 142 minus 27 is equals to 115. So our interquartile range for set 2 is 115. Can have a look at that. I'm sure you all got it right. And I'm sure you have already remembered this from what your teachers have already taught you about how to determine Q1 and Q3. And yet again, remember grade 12, I said Q2 is the median. Once you have already determined the median, you automatically have Q2. That is why in the question papers, you are never requested to determine Q2. Because if they ask you to determine the median, already you have determined Q2. Okay? Let me also give you another question. This other question is now based on percentiles. Because remember, we also spoke of percentiles.